Day one told us everything we need to know with regard to the winter meetings. That everyone is pretending they know everything. Today on Locked On A's.
You are Locked On A's, your daily podcast on the Athletics, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 podcast network. My name is Boney, one name, all passion, no sugarcoating. I'm a lifelong A's fan who has spent the past season covering the A's every single day, post-game breakdowns, prospect deep dives, roster decisions, and all the chaos in between. And in the offseason, yes, we are still covering the A's every single day. And I don't show it with corporate talking points or highlight real cliches. I show it with honesty, edge, and the perspective of someone who refuses to let this team be treated like an afterthought. An afterthought. If you want blind optimism, look elsewhere. If you want truth, fire, and a voice that actually cares, welcome to Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team, your A's, every single day. Today's episode is brought to you in part by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. Good evening, everybody. R.D. Moss. How are you, sir? Winter meetings today, guys. Winter meetings. And Rule 5 draft is going to take place on Wednesday. I narrowed down who I believe the A's will take in the Rule 5 draft. I got three pitchers. They're picking number 8 overall, and I think they're going to get one of these three pitchers if they are available at number 8. Here's the thing about the Rule 5 draft. You don't have to draft somebody. The whole thing with the Rule 5 draft that makes it tricky is paying $100,000 for a player, and then secondly, you have to free up a roster spot for somebody. And the other catch is that they have to be on your 26-man roster all year long. Last year, we picked up Noah Murdoch. We drafted Noah Murdoch. He actually was good for about the first, 30 games of the season, and then not so good. We ended up offering him back to Kansas City. This year, I think there's 3 possible players that we can get, and I'll cover that later. Draft lottery is tomorrow, 2:30 Pacific Standard Time, I believe. I got to double check that if that's East Coast time or Pacific Standard Time. 6% chance to get the number 1 pick. The number 1 pick is the kid from UCLA. Let me look him up real quick. Shortstop. Shortstop out of UCLA. I forget his name off the top of my head, but he is an individual that everybody has going number 1. Baseball 2026. And he is a true consensus. Rock Chalowski, I believe. And UCLA shortstop. So we have a 6% chance to get him, to get the number 1 pick. Here's the thing. If we happen to get the number 1 pick, it's going to be Ross. There's going to be no question about it. Now you're looking at a potential infield of DeVries, Wilson, Chalowski, and Kurtz. Out of this world, right? I don't really care if we get the number 1 pick or not, but 4:30 p.m. Central Time. Thank you, RD. So it's going to be 2:30 Pacific Time, and I will be on live covering that tomorrow. I want number 3. 3 or 4 is what I ideally want, because I want one of the top pitchers. Ideally, I want Fluky. But one of the top pitchers is definitely who I want. Winter meetings opened up today. Nothing crazy. I listened to A's Cast in the morning. uneventful, to say the least. I know Towney was talking about Peter Fairbanks from Tampa Bay is picking up as a reliever. I like Fairbanks. Problem with Fairbanks, he's expensive. I mean, right now the market value on Fairbanks is $15 million a year, which means the A's potentially would have to offer a premium for Fairbanks. Oh, now you're looking at something like 3 years, $55 million, 3 years, $20 million to get a free agent to come play in Sacramento. For that price, I'm not real high on. Another thing they said that was interesting, and I've kind of covered this before, is they've also made offers out to the youngsters as far as extension. Kurtz, Wilson, maybe Langoliers, Soderstrom, and the ball's in their park. The ball is in their court whether they want to take that contract or not and extend with the A's. But potentially that's what we're looking at with regard to extension. So it sounds like there's some extensions been made. I don't know if it's going to be enough, and I don't expect those to be accepted this year. Excuse me, at the winter meetings. I think it's going to be something where if it is accepted, it's going to be something in January, February. Master, I'll take Fairbanks. You got to pay to get any of these pitchers. I just don't think he's worth it. I think he's good. I just don't think he's great. In other words, what I'm saying is and again, I keep going back to my main thing. I'd rather, it's not that I don't like Fairbanks. It's not like I wouldn't want to pay for Fairbanks. I think I like him. But you got to remember, we don't have a bottomless pit of money. So my point being is I'd rather put that money elsewhere. And again, I've talked about repeatedly extending the kids. And if that means we got to offer more money up front in the early years in order to do that, rather than sign a guy like Fairbanks, I'd do that. I like Fairbanks. I'm not opposed to Fairbanks, but I like Fairbanks at like 3 years, $39 million. I like Yeah, Devin Williams he got 17. He got 3 years, $51 million. But I see your point, and I think that's a joke. I think it's a joke. I don't like it, Master. I don't know who Devin Williams is better than. If I could really say that I'm comfortable saying that Devin Williams is someone better than who the A's currently have in their bullpen. Not based off last year now. Not based off last year. We're not talking about Devin Williams from 2 years ago when we were with the Brewers. We're talking about last year. And we can't honestly say that Devin Williams, last 2025, Devin Williams is better than anybody the A's have. I think that was just a bad signing. I don't like Devin Williams. Not for that price. I don't know. Adrian Hauser, Fairbanks, May, Newcomb would be good. Really? You like those guys, huh? Here's the thing, though, guys. Okay, so, all right, fair enough. Who do you want Fairbanks, Hauser, May, all these guys you mentioned, who do you want them to replace in our bullpen? Who do you want them to replace? Who in our bullpen didn't do the job they needed to do towards the end of the second half of the season that you want to replace for that price? I don't know. I hope Kyle Tucker is spending time with David Force. Nice, my ace. Nice. Pomeranz. I like Pomeranz. I'm with you there, Flea. I'm with you there, Flea. See, that's the guy I would take a shot at. It's not going to cost you a lot. It's a good lefty arm. I'm with you on Pomeranz. Means I don't mind that. I don't mind that whatsoever. I'm just so opposed to paying so much darn money for a closer. Are we still going to be mid this next year? What do you mean? Like middle of the pack? Middle of the pack? Master, according to the numbers last year, the second half of the season, yes. We were the best. We were the third best bullpen in baseball the second half of the season. We were. Is that sustainable? I don't know. I know what Devin Williams was, though. Is that sustainable? That's the question. I don't know. But right now, according to the numbers, second half of baseball, we were the third best bullpen in baseball. Yeah, we were good. We were really good. Yes, 100%. You got to remember, we were a hell of a ball club the second half. Can we sustain it? That's the question. This year I meant, like, not suck, but be good. I mean, we were good last year, man. We fell that stretch in May, 20 and 21. I mean, shoot. I don't know. Can we maintain it over 162? I sure hope so. What is mid? 80 to 85 wins? Booney, let's be fair fans right now, not want a playoff run. What's mid? 80 to Booney, let's be fair fans right now, not right now. Want to play? For sure. I want a playoff run too. My ace. Is that what you're asking? Agree with you, Master. Bullpens are year to year. Listen, I like those players you're talking about. I don't want to spend $20 million a year for them. That's all I'm saying. I like Fairbanks. I think he's a great pitcher. I just don't think you spend that much money unless you have money left over. I think you take care of what you need to take care of first. So, yeah, I'm agree with you. I agree with you, my ace. I'm with you 100%. We don't have that stretch in May, April, May last year, guys. We're a playoff team. I've said it before. I believe that we need to be cautiously optimistic. Because I was gung-ho coming into 2025 after the second half we had in 2024. When you play with expectations, when you're expected to win, it has a different feeling than when you're playing to play out the schedule. Resign Newcomb, sign Zach. I don't mind Zach Littell. The contract extension on Soto, Kurtz, Wilson, and Langoliers. You're talking, Bill. You're talking. I think we have a shot at shining Newcomb. And let me tell you why. Newcomb wants to be a starter. He's talked about being a starter. He wants to be a starting pitcher. So I think the type of contract we're going to offer Newcomb is going to be a 2-year deal, let's say $10 million, with year 2 being a player option. That way, hey, if he performs like the starter he thinks he can be, he can opt out year 2 and go get starter money in the open market. If he ends up being a flop as a starter, hey, we send him back to the bullpen. He's that lefty specialist we had last year. I like Newcomb. And I like Littell. Hey, Bill, I like how you're thinking right now. I think that's exactly how we should allocate our money. That's what I'm talking about, Master. I'm not talking about that. I don't like guys like Fairbanks. I don't like Williams, okay? But I am saying I'd rather allocate the funds we have to spend on what Bill's talking about first. If I had a choice, that's what I would do. Now, at the very end of the day, if there's money left over and we can't sign, we can't extend, whatever it may be, and we need that money to spend, go get Fairbanks at a premium. That's all I'm saying. Just wait for him. Add a starter, add a vet bullpen arm, find your closer in-house, add a bug name bat. Big name bat. Big name bat, yeah. I'd like a big name bat that doesn't cost. But I'm with you on a bat. I'd like another infielder. I don't think we're going to get a big name bat. I think we have plenty of bats. Sattel would be good. He's underrated. Agree with you. I agree with you, Flea. Price on him's good too. It felt like there was a change in catching attitude late last year. The team expects to win now. Hard to say. Hard to say. Hard to say, RD. They felt a lot less pressure, right? And that's what kind of happens when you're out of the race by June. And that's what happened at the end of 2024 as well. I hope you're right. You might be onto something there. Are they going to sign any free agents like decent ones? Barbecue Slayer? No, not now. Not now, bud. Not now. Maybe we have money to spend, right? At the same time, it's like, so BBQ Slayer, who do you want? Who do you want to replace? Who can we get? Who can we afford? That's the whole question. Yeah, if players don't want to sign early, you got to spend that money to win now. Yeah, I'm with you there. And that's my point, Master, right? I'm not opposed to signing the guys you are talking about. My point being is I don't want to say, hey, let's go offer a contract to Fairbanks right now for 3 years, $60 million, which it would probably cost about 3 years. It would cost Devin Williams money in order to get Fairbanks to come to Sacramento. Maybe a little bit more, maybe more years. I don't want to do that now. If we offer extensions to Kurtz, to Wilson, to Soderstrom, to Langoliers, if we try to do that with those guys and they don't accept it for any particular reason and we can't sign anybody else, yes, go get Fairbanks. Point being is a closer is the last thing when you're rebuilding to get when you're building a team. And it's not like Fairbanks is a dominant lights out closer either. We're not talking about a Suarez or an Edwin Diaz. I wouldn't say those guys are lights out either. My A's extension, 100% build from within, right? Build from within. Agree. I know we can upgrade second and third. Yeah, no question. I mean, right now, our infield's looking, how nice would it be if Geloff has a bounce back year? I mean, wouldn't that be something, guys? Wouldn't that be something? If Geloff can have a bounce back year? Guys, I got to take a break. I got to read this ad back, and I'll come back to the rest of your questions, comments, talking free agents tomorrow. Big day. Hey, maybe the A's get the number 1 pick. Maybe we get Roch Kolowski out of UCLA next year. Huh? Oh, Barbecue Slayer, stop. How come you don't like Springs? You don't like Jeffrey Springs? I don't mind Jeffrey Springs. I don't mind Jeffrey Springs at all. All right, I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, guys, today we're talking about FanDuel. NFL Sundays move fast, one big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift. A receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment. Live spreads and money line adjust instantly. Player props updates as guys heat up. You can bet next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. It keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. I mean, there was nothing like a little FanDuel with that Raiders game on Sunday. I hope nobody had the Raiders plus, the Broncos minus the points. That was a little brutal. Just a little brutal. Just saying. Just saying. Guys, thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen of the day, and thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. You already live your team every day. Now take it up a level and go ad-free. Join the Everydayer Club today and get Locked On A's with no interruptions, members only, Discord access, and more. All for just $5 a month or $50 a year. Go to lockedona's.supercast.com or check the link in the show notes to learn more. If you are a true diehard A's fan, the Everydayer All Access tier is built for you. You'll get one-on-one text access with me, all access episode, an exclusive newsletter, and a 15% discount to the Locked On merchandise store. Head to lockedona's.supercast.com to join the Everydayer program, unlock all access. You can also find the link in the show notes. Back talking Rule 5 draft, draft lottery, schedule of events, Flea. What do you got? It's tough. I want to see a full season from Muncy and Harris, but not that many spots. Muncy has the power potential, and Harris has the glove value and contact skills. Yes, sir. He sure does. Junior Perez, but then there's Perez. I want to see some at-bats. BBQ Slayer, can you name some of the free agent infielders? Absolutely. I just was looking at that. Let me give you some free agent infielders right now. All right, so here's what you're looking at. Good call. I like that. So let's look at second baseman. Jorge Polanco from the Mariners. Market value on him's $14.5 million. We'd have to pay more. Luis Urias from San Diego. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa from Toronto. Adam Frazier, more on the lower end. That's for second baseman. As far as third baseman, Alex Bregman, we're not getting him. Eugenio Suarez. Ramon Urias. Miguel Andujar. I wouldn't mind seeing Andujar back in a A's uniform. I predicted the A's would get somebody like a Jose Iglesias from San Diego. Shortstops. Bo Bichette, we're not getting him. Willie Castro. I could say it's getting Luis Rengifo from Anaheim. Those are what you're basically looking at. I like Gregory Soto too, Master. I like him too. I wouldn't mind to see the A's go by bullpen by committee. I've talked about this in the past. Bullpen by committee, it worked for them last year in the second half. It keeps everyone involved. You go play more towards matchups. It's not going to cost you a ton. I mean, since when now are closers costing so much darn money? You know, but I'm with you. I like Gregory Soto. Gregory Soto would cost us $10 million a year. I'm in. I like that a lot, Master. He's a 2-time All-Star. Do you see Cortez or Thomas with more potential? Obviously, the upside on Colby, we saw signs, RD. And Cortez, I wouldn't mind seeing Cortez in the infield. He's ambidextrous, throws right-handed, left-handed. As far as more potential, I don't think we're going to ever see him as stars. But I do potentially see him as guys that can contribute every day, play a number of positions. Colby, maybe. I mean, we saw him carry the A's in certain series. We saw the power from him. The opposite way. The pull side. He was awesome. Possibly, yeah. Possibly. They need to get that strikeout rate down. That's for sure. Imagine if Nick Anderson came back and became a decent setup man. Imagine, yeah. Or what? Imagine. Boone, I know you're being realistic, penny pincher, but what kind of signings will change your mind this season if the A's are willing to change their spending ways? My A's, it's not penny pinching, right? It's just when you've seen the franchise do the same thing for 30 years. they're not changing anything while they're in Sacramento. He's going to base his spending on what is the least amount he has to spend in order to participate in the revenue sharing. So the number we're looking at as far as the A's spending right now is about between 30 and $35 million. That's what we have. So what I'm saying is like, hey, let's extend Langoliers, let's extend Soderstrom, let's extend Wilson, and let's extend Kurtz, right? But you got to remember, whenever you're extending those guys and you're buying out the pre-arb years and the arbitration years, the front end money is going to be, it's not going to be a lot. You're spending that money down the line and you're betting on Vegas. But after that, what do you have left over to really spend? It's not that I'm like you guys. If I had a choice or something I want to see the A's do, it would be spend. But the realistic part is I could name all these free agents like, hey, let's sign Bregman, let's sign Hunter Green, let's trade for Hunter Green, let's trade for this guy and that guy. The reality is we're not gonna do that. And also the reality is when we're talking about somebody like Fairbanks, is like, yes, would I spend 3 years, $42 million for Fairbanks? Yes. If we're in Vegas, the A's are in Vegas, that's how much it would cost. But in Sacramento, in order to get someone like Fairbanks, I don't want the A's to spend a 35% premium, 40% premium for a reliever. I don't want 3 years, $54 million for Fairbanks. That's what I'm kind of what I'm getting at. I want Tyler Mahle is the guy I want from Texas. A guy with huge upside that won't cost a lot. And that's who we need to shoot for. But no, I mean, I'm like you guys, my A's. I want to get every possible free agent we can. The reality is we have X amount of dollars. And if I had a priority on what the A's should spend that money on, it's the young core. What made 72 to 74 so special, guys, is those guys grew up together. They came up together through the moves, and they stuck together. And I've talked about it before. This team and what they're going through with the move from Oakland to Sacramento to Vegas has a lot of similarities between 72 and 74. And I've talked about culture before. I've talked about togetherness before. And I've talked about this team growing together before. And that's how you do it. And I also want to get this stigma out of this franchise of not re-signing individuals to longer term deals. And also, my A's, you got to remember, man, more than any other thing past the players, the A's need an identity right now, and they need a fan base. We don't have one. We don't have a fan base. We don't have an identity. And right now, when people think about the A's, they think of the A's like a pariah. And I want that to change. And in order to change that, it starts by, hey, we're vested into Vegas, into the future. Market guys like Kurtz, Wilson, Soderstrom, Langoliers. And how you do that is you sign them through 2034, 2035. Then you start building a fan base. Then you start building some excitement. Then we got something. So it's more than just signing a player. And that's why it's so important to me. It goes past signing the player. It goes past the player's talent. We have to build an identity. Excuse me, I hate when people say we. The A's need to build an identity, and they need to change their ways on how they are looked at in the national sports spotlight. And it starts, and we have the players to do that. So I hope they really do that. So it goes past the players for me, my A's. I really hope the A's give Zach another chance. He's going to get every chance he's going to get, Rick. He's going to get every chance. He's going to get an invitation to spring. He has the raw talent. Here's the thing with Geloff. Geloff defensively is elite. Zach Geloff is a Gold Glove defensive second baseman. He's shown signs of what he can do offensively. He's been hurt. I mean, every chance where you just think he's turning the corner, starting to figure it out and getting in a rhythm, he gets hurt. He just needs a consistent year to come back from the awful 2024 he had. Master, agree with you. This free agent class isn't anything special. 100% agree with you. 100% agree with you. You think Carlos Cortez has a spot, or we have to? Oh, no. He's right now. He's on the 26-man roster. Barbecue. 100%. He would have to go. He would have to have an awful spring, and even if he has an awful spring, someone else would really have to step up. Right now, Carlos Cortez is on the 26-man roster. Right now, he has to have a. Right now, he has to have a spot. He would really have to play his way out of a spot, and someone else would really have to go nuts in order to take that spot from him. Agree with you, Flea. Cortez is legit, real legit. And BBQ, it wasn't like Cortez. Cortez was a third-round pick out of South Carolina, SEC school. The kid came up with pedigree. Cortez was nuts. He wasn't just like some fly of the, some hidden secret. Cortez had pedigree when he was drafted. He lacked pop. And all of a sudden, and pop just sometimes takes a little maturity, growing into your body a little bit, so forth. I think he's found that. But Cortez isn't like a secret, man. Third round pick, South Carolina, SEC. The kid's legit. He's legit. I can't stand Geloff. Does he not? But K. Yeah, you got to remember, though, BBQ, right? We know what he is defensively. He had that second half of 2023. We're hoping he's that guy again. He's going to be on a short leash. He's going to get his opportunity. I hope he is that guy. Rumors has it the A's trading Thomas for Alec Boehm. I would do that in a second. I don't think the Phillies will. I mean, it would have to be Thomas and somebody else, Bill. There's no chance. I remember last year we were talking about getting Alec Boehm, and they wanted Mason Miller. It would have to be more than Colby Thomas. There's no chance it would be. If it was Colby Thomas for Alec Boehm straight up, where do I sign that? Where do I sign that up? So if he drops 50 mil, he's not dropping 50 mil this year, though, my ace. He's dropping 30 mil. But if he does, yeah, it would. My whole perception will be way different, but he's not. He's going to drop 30, between 30 and 35, just to get around that $10 million payroll he needs to get to. Something like that. But yes, to answer your question, yeah, I'll be shocked if he does that. And that would change everything for me. But he won't. And if he does, I'll come on here and say, hey, my A's, you were right. The Booner was wrong. And we'll continue. But he's not going to do that, pal. Remember Pat Venditti? Pat Venditti. I don't remember, Flea. Remind me. Who are the 5 starters? Right now, who I got. Okay, 5 starting pitchers. We got Severino at the 1 spot. Jeffrey Springs at the 2. Jacob Lopez at the 3. You got Luis Morales at the 4. I think the 5 spot's going to be a 4-man battle between Jack Perkins, Sean Newcomb, Brady Basso. Actually, it's going to be a 5-man. Brady Basso, JT Ginn, and Gunnar Hoglund. It's going to be one of those 5 at the 5 spot. I don't know who's going to go. You know who else I can see being our closer, guys, and why I'm hesitant to be really excited about any closers such as a Devin Williams or a Fairbanks? I think Jack Perkins is going to be a hell of a closer. I wouldn't mind seeing a combo Jack Perkins, Hogan Harris closer type deal. So if they like Cortez, they should trade Butler and make it a competition between Thomas and I'm not opposed to that. The whole thing, though, is, Master, who would we get in return, right? Can you get any type of assets in return for Lawrence Butler? Because right now his stock is at the bottom. And I'm not ready to give up on Lawrence Butler yet either. So I'm opposed to that, right? We don't know what Cortez is. I will say this. I don't think Cortez's ceiling and Lawrence Butler's ceiling is comparable. I think Lawrence Butler's ceiling, as far as what he can do, is through the roof. I mean, Lawrence Butler's ceiling is a 30-30 guy, right? Cortez isn't that guy. Cortez is a good Major League Baseball player who could play multiple positions, but he doesn't have the ceiling as Lawrence Butler, no. That's assuming the A's do not sign a starter. Well, what starter would we sign that's better than those guys, though, my A's? Seriously, let's take a look at the starting pitching. I've been on this thing before. Seriously, what starting pitcher would you sign that's a free agent that's better than what we have? What the names I mentioned. Tyler Mahle is the only guy. Let's take a look, though. You guys judge for yourself on guys we can get. We're not going to get Valdez. We're not going to get Suarez. We're not going to get King. We're not going to get Giolito. I talked about Zach Gallen, but reality, we're not going to get him. Zach Gelfand from Baltimore, we won't get him. Merrill Kelly, Chris Bassett, Michael Lorenzen. Did he opt in? And if I'm making a mistake, even Zach Littell. I take Littell. Nestor Cortez. Scherzer. You want Scherzer? You want Verlander? You want Frankie Montes? You want Patrick Corbin? I don't know. RD. I don't know if it carries over to the team, but the spending on the stadium is being described as no regard to budget constraints. They keep upgrading. I think that's two separate things, though, RD, as far as spending on the stadium and spending on until they do something different with regard to spending on the team, I'm not going to believe otherwise. Because we're talking about two funnels. Right? We're talking about where money is coming from in two different directions, right? Fisher, historically, in the ownership and how he runs it, is going to spend on payroll based on the gate, based on ticket sales. The funnel going for the stadium is a completely different type of deal, right? So we're talking about two different things, and he's always going to spend a percentage on that. Even when they get to Vegas, the A's will never be a top 10, a top 5 spending team. He will spend based on revenue. And while I believe revenue will be incredibly good in Las Vegas, he's going to spend a percentage of that on players. It's just the way it is. No, Springs can't be ahead of yes, he has to be. Remember, barbecue. He's getting paid. If you're getting paid, you are in the top spots. Remember when we had Ross Stripling 2 years ago, guys? Hey, Ross Stripling was the worst pitcher in the history of baseball. But if he was healthy, he was getting the ball because we were paying him. And that's the same thing here. If you're getting paid, and Springs is, and Severino is, you're going to be the top guys. It's just the way it is, whether you like it or don't. They will be 1-2 because of their contracts. And he was a good pitcher last year. Springs was good last year. He was good. Venditti was on the A's in 15. He spent most career in the Yanks. Minor leagues threw both left-handed and right-handed. Good call, Flea. Flea, you are one of the best with the memory, man. You are one of the best with the memory. Hey, Jesus. How are you, pal? Doing well? Maybe he sells after the Vegas move. No, I don't think he will. But hey, who knows? I have no effing idea what's going on, but cheers. What's up, Bamboo? Stripling. Bring back Chris Bassett. Yeah, I've talked about Chris Bassett in the past. Again, my whole thing with regard to what the A's are going to spend this off season is it has to be in a priority. If you have 30, 35 million to spend, whatever it is, the first priority is extending Langoliers, Kurtz, Wilson, Soderstrom. Okay? And whatever's left over goes to whatever's left over. The next priority, trades for a starting pitcher. Next priority, free agent, infield, starting pitching. Last priority, reliever, if there's money left over. You have to work and base the priorities based on the budget you have. But my first priority is building a fan base. Building a fan base, getting some excitement for this franchise as they continue to move forward. That's my first priority. For me, that's the most important. A's have to give Muncy a chance to start, then Geloff. For sure. Bill, you got to remember, last year he was an opening day starter. So Muncy right now, here's how it's going to work as far as the infield, guys. As the roster shapes up right now, you're going to have first base Kurtz. You're going to have shortstop Wilson. Now, if Brett Harris beats out Zach Geloff, it's going to be Brett Harris at third and Max Muncy at second. If it goes vice versa and Geloff, and also stick Hernandez in there too. So if whoever wins the competition between Hernandez, Geloff, and Harris, right, they're either at third or second. Muncy will get the other position. So I already have Muncy as one of the positions in the starting lineup. If opening day was today. Good to hear, Jesus. Love it. BBQ. Who do you think will rise next year and who's going to flop? I think who will rise next year is going to be Jack Perkins. Jack Perkins, my guy. I think we're going to see a big year out of Jack Perkins. I don't know in what position yet, either a closer or a starting, but I think Jack Perkins is going to have a huge year. As far as a flop, it's a good question, man. Oh, golly. I don't want to see anybody that I want to see flop. Brett Harris, too, I can see rising next year. You got to remember, guys, everyone forgets about Brett Harris this year. The first 25, 30 games of the season, he actually was out hitting Kurtz in AAA Vegas. Overall, he was. He didn't have the power numbers, obviously, Kurtz had. But overall average, OPS, etc., he was better than Kurtz. And then he got hurt, and he was out a couple months. Brett Harris was really, really good. Look for Brett Harris. Look for Brett Harris to have a breakout year as well. As far as a flop, or let's say, here, let me rephrase it. Somebody that we're expecting to do well that may need more time, Max Muncy. I'm not saying he's going to be a flop. I'm saying he may need more time. He's only 22 years old. Yup, get the studs locked up. Thank you. Siphon, what's up, bud? What's up, man? I'd be perfectly happy not signing anyone, but I would, however, like a clever trade for a nice starter. Hey, I like the wording for clever trade. Whatever that means, yeah, me too. So would I. I'd like to see a clever trade too. Yeah, did I see the Braves pick up Badeau? Yeah. Hey, good luck with that, Braves. He is going to give up bomb after bomb. Boom. 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 Who do you think they'll extend between Kurtz, Wilson, Soderstrom, and Langoliers? Realistically, I know they're going to sign all of them, but at least get 1, 2 of them. Any of the above. I mean, obviously, right? If I had a choice of how you have them right now, Flea is how I have them in order in my head. So I don't know what they will do, But as far as priority goes, in my opinion, you have it nailed. I can easily flip-flop Wilson and Soderstrom. To me, Soderstrom is that good. But yes, you have it dead on. Kurtz, Wilson, Soderstrom, and fourth Langoliers. Just because Langoliers, hey, they're all great. And I think we need to extend all of them. But yeah, if I had to guess on what their priority is, probably Langoliers, just because he's already in his arbitration year, a little older, while we still have a Kurtz and Wilson are already in pre-arb. They're not. Who do you not going to sign? Realistically, Langoliers might be the guy not going to sign just because he's represented by Boris. Siphon, I agree. We need to find a Dan. Yeah, well, Dan Heron was good too. Siphon. It wasn't like I would like Tyler Mahle's the guy I want. I want Tyler Mahle. I want the A's to figure out how to get Tyler Mahle. You talk about a guy that you keep talking about, hey, I want the A's to sign a bounce back type guy. A guy who wants to win, who wants to bounce back, who has a chip on his shoulder. Tyler Mahle's that guy. I want Tyler Mahle. I want Tyler Mahle bad. That's the guy I want. We can afford him, and when he's right, he's one of the better pitchers in the American League. Your next breakout A's young star. You're going Colby Thomas, huh? My next A's big star, I'm going to go Henry Bolte. Not counting the obvious ones. I mean, you could always go Leo DeVries, obviously, but I think everyone would say Leo DeVries. I think the guy that's kind of hanging around, that's sitting there, is Henry Bolte. Look out for Henry Bolte. He's a stud. He's a stud. Still remember that bomb Badeau gave to Riley. Oh my God. Oh my God. How far that ball's still going? That was in Sacto. That was such a bomb, man. Oh my God. Oh my God. That was so far. That was so far. Stop. What about Luis Medina? We got to figure out what Luis Medina is still, right? So Luis Medina's last start was in Boston in 2024. He showed signs. He's one of those guys that has stuff, right? He's electric. But he's also gotten hit hard. Was he young? Sure. Did he have the stuff? Did he show signs? Like I said, absolutely. But he also had Tommy John surgery. We don't know who he is right now. Ken Waldichuk came back last year and got hit worse than Badeau did. So I don't know what kind of pitcher Luis Medina is. All I know is what we saw from him in 2024. And like I said, he had flashes where he looked really, really good. He looked like he could be that guy. But we don't know what he is, especially coming back from Tommy John. I don't know. I think for sure he has to earn a spot. I'm glad we kept him, but we don't know what he is. We don't know what he is yet. Me too, Flea. I thought he was going to have me too. Me too. Second half of 2024, Badeau tore it up, man. He had outings where it was 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 6 Ks, 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. I mean, I had him locked into the 4th side. I did a whole episode on Badeau. You were wrong? I was way wrong on him, man. I think signing Shea is more important right now. He's been on the A's the longest. Having a good catcher is a luxury. Yeah, he's legit. Second best catcher in the American League. I could see them do that. For sure. For sure. I'm fine with that. Hopefully Denzel hits well right out of the gate as well. Yeah, I hope so. Convert Medina to the bullpen. We'll see. He has to earn a spot on the 26-man roster right now, Flea. We don't know what Medina is. I can easily see Medina not making the opening day roster. There's some good competitions this spring, guys. There's some good competition this spring. Both asbestos and will not amount to anything. I don't disagree. I think they are what they are, right, Bill? I think they're grinders. I think they try super hard. I think they are who they are, right? Good enough to get you beat. And I'm with you. I agree. And that's not a negative shot at them. So Susak is a goner in the Rule 5 draft. We'll find out on Wednesday for sure, BBQ. I think so. I have a hard time somebody won't draft him. That doesn't need a backup catcher to stick around the whole year. Susak's solid. I'm excited this year. Our rotation after the All-Star break could be Sevy, Springs, Morales, Jump. Jacob Lopez, huh? For me right now, Jacob Lopez is the best of the bunch as far as talent. Jacob Lopez, remember, guys, pitched 27 scoreless innings last year. Jacob Lopez was nuts for about a 6-week stretch. Lopez was our ace. It wasn't close. No Jacob Lopez, huh, Siphon? I'm not gonna give up on him that quick. But I like what you're talking about. I don't think Jamie Arnold will be up this year. I don't think he'll be up this year. Shea is a rock. I'd like to give him a five-ish year deal. I would like, yeah. I think it's going to take more than that though, Bamboo. Badeau is gone. Lopez was fine, but he ain't Jumper Arnold. Listen, over that 6-week stretch, he was as good as any pitcher in the American League until he got hurt. Can he sustain that? That's the question. Can he sustain that? I don't know. But as far as what we've seen, he's pretty damn good. We'll see. You could be right. Lopez is a big wild card. You guys are down a little bit on Lopez, fellas. I'm high on Lopez. You know when I get stuck on a guy too. What injury did I was worried about? No, it wasn't Tommy John. It had nothing to do with his arm. I want to say like a hip, something like that. It had nothing to do with his arm. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but it had nothing to do with his arm. It wasn't Tommy John. Lopez was dang near our ace. He sure was. You're not wrong. He was great, but okay, fair enough. Fair enough, Siphon. I could buy that. We'll see. I hope you're wrong because I like Lopez a lot. I get stuck on a guy, I get a little. Lopez Ks per 9 was ridiculous. Yeah, it was, Flea. I was always high on him the minute after that trade. Career ERA just under 3 in the minors. Yeah. Okay, here. 3 guys I want you to take notes on here, fellas, as far as Rule 5 draft. It's going to be, check it out. These guys are nails, man. Hayden Mullins, left-handed pitcher for the Red Sox. Harrison Cohen, right-handed pitcher in the Yankees system. And RJ Petit, right-handed pitcher in the Tigers system. I think the A's, if any of those are around at number 8, I think the A's will jump on one of them. Again, Petit with the Tigers, Harrison Cohen with the Yankees, Hayden Mullins with the Red Sox. No, I think his ceiling is very promising, but can he stay healthy? I'm rooting big time for him. I love the crafty lefties. Yeah, you know, when you look at his numbers and his fastball and all, it's nothing off the charts. But his funky delivery, where, you know, the slot he throws the ball from, the velocity. I mean, do you remember that Saturday game against the Phillies? I think when the A's lost, there was their 10th loss in a row, one of the best games of the season, actually. I mean, he had like 9 Ks through 5 innings against that Phillies team. He was right so far on Morales. Yeah, I was off on Morales, wasn't I? You were right on Morales. I was wrong on Morales. Yeah. No, you're right. I was dead wrong on Morales. I'm glad I'm wrong. Hey, I'm glad I'm wrong on Morales. That's for sure. Tomorrow, 2:30, I'll be live around 2:00 to talk a little for the draft lottery and anything else that is going on with regard to the winter drafts. If there's any news that pops up, I'll definitely be on it. I hope there is. It's been a little slow. But at the end of the day, I think we have a bright future, and that's exciting. Yeah, I think so too. Fleet, Siphon, that's the whole thing. We do have a bright future, and I want more than your diehard A's fans to know that. And that's why it's important for me, important for fans, that we make a splash and re-sign the youngsters. Yeah, I did. Hey, and the other thing I'm not going to talk about this year, Bill, is playoffs. I won't talk about playoffs either. I was a damn mush on the playoffs. I mushed a lot of stuff last year. Jesus, I was a mush. I mean, I say one thing and went the opposite way all year long. It was nuts, man. An absolute Eddie thy mush. Hey, great to catch up. Baseball talk. Take it easy and thanks, buddy. Hey, peace to you all. Hey, bamboo. Take care, fellas, man. I'll hopefully see you tomorrow. And thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen of the day. For your second listen, check out Locked On MLB. Check out Sully. He has a whole offseason covered. You can find Sully and Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. Have a good night, guys. I will check you guys all out tomorrow.